Okay, in my class, we're going to start talking about Excel today. We've been talking about Microsoft Word. Um, so, first thing I want you guys to do is open up a spreadsheet. Okay, if you look at the first slide that's up on the board, let me see if I can zoom it in a little bit. Huh. Okay, but you can see that you can make the column headings look different. Let me open up an Excel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put their headings that they have. So they have last name, first initial, rate, hours, overtime hours, and overtime pay. Just have a seat wherever. Wes, do you just want to take your quiz tomorrow? Or do you want to take it today? Okay. Okay, so we have these labels up here at the top. If we click on them and highlight, so I clicked on G and dragged it all the way over. Oh, actually, you need to click on G1 and drag it all the way over. If you click on right-click, format cells, we go in here and we see a couple different settings. Right here, we have general. If you have numbers, you can format it that way with different decimal points. You can make currency, accounting. You can do percentages, scientific notation. So there's a bunch of different numbers differences. But right now we just have text. If we look at the alignment, you can change the alignment of how you want the cell to look. So if I put it 45 degrees, then you can see that it goes up like that. Okay, another thing why I have these cells highlighted is if you drag, well, you gotta have them all highlighted. If you drag them over, then it moves all of them. Okay, so they're all equal. You can also highlight it and go to column width, and you can adjust it, let's say 15. So all the cells that I have highlighted are 15 wide. Same thing goes for the height as well. If I wanted all these to be a certain height, then I just go to row height. I'll say 30. I probably need to make it bigger than that. I'll make one bigger. Okay, so 2 through 10 is 30. let's see, labels are left aligned and values and dates and times are right aligned in cells. So if we look, today is 3/2/16. That's aligned right on the cell. Our general text is aligned to left. You can go up here and fix how it's aligned though. Just like we did in Microsoft Word, you can hit the alignment button. You can have it centered, left. If you want to move it up, you can hit top, top center. Okay, so there's different alignments that you can use for it. Entering data in a worksheet. Data is typed, it appears in the active cell and on the formula bar, and cancel and enter are activated. Okay, so you go up here on your top ribbon, you have formulas. They have a bunch of different formulas you can use. Most of the ones we use are basic math functions such as sum, calculating the average, counting numbers. We'll get into some more advanced ones, but not too many. There's tons of functions that you can use. Okay, we already talked about column width. Okay, formatting cells. If you look at the layout, it's exactly like Microsoft Word. So if we wanted to change the font, if we wanted to bold it, italicize it, change it to Algerian font, whatever you want, the layout's pretty much exactly like Microsoft Word, so there shouldn't be any confusion there. By default, labels are left aligned, values and times are right aligned. Okay, I already talked about that with the alignments. Okay, text wrapping. If I have, let's say I wanted to write something here in this cell. Okay, so you can see that this is 3A. Okay, so it runs over into these columns. If you go up here and hit wrap text, it puts it so all of the words are in one cell. Now we might have to adjust the width or the height, but that makes sure that your font or your text doesn't run into other cells. Also, if you're typing, so let me type another one. I'll type the same thing. Okay, so I get to the end, and I know I'm at the end and I don't have text wrap on. You can hit Alt-Enter, and it goes to the next line. Okay. So you can put in, it's kind of like a page break, but it's a cell break is what I would call it. Okay, in a worksheet, titles can not be centered horizontally on the page like they can be in a word processing document. However, it is possible to merge a group of adjacent cells and center text within merged cells. Okay, so I'm making a payroll document up here. Okay, so I have last name, first initial, rate, hours, overtime hours, and pay. So I want to put a title on the document. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight A1 through F1, and I'm going to go up here and hit this merge and center button. So now all of them are one cell. So I can put a title in. Let's put employee payroll. Okay, so I can, change the font, make it a little bit bigger since it's the title. I can make it bold. Okay, you can do something crazy like that. But the merge and center button will put multiple cells together. Instead of before we had all these cells, if I would have just typed it in here and then hit center up here, then it just puts it in center of that cell. So we would need to merge it. Okay. There's the different number formats. You have different decimal points. That should be self-explanatory. Okay, select all button. It's in the top left-hand corner up here. You can also hit Control A. If you want to move cells, just highlight them. You'll get this little cross with arrows pointing in every direction, and then you can just drag it wherever you want to, and it will move it. Okay, if I wanted to repeat something, you go to the bottom right-hand corner, and you'll just drag it down, and it would repeat it all. Cell styles. It's kind of like our headings that we used in Word. They're just like pre-made styles or formats. So if I highlighted it all, cell styles, let's say, okay, so I put it all green. I don't really care how it looks right now, so I'm just going to leave it how it was. Okay, we talked about the different views in Word. They also have different views in Excel. Normal, we got our page layout view, page break view, custom views, full screen. Normally we'll just be working in the normal view. Okay, if you have these lines on your screen, then what that means is it's a print boundary. So if you were to print, this would get cut off the page. Okay. We have our page layout options just like we did in Word. So if I go to page layout, you can set the margins. If you want it to print in landscape, we can do that too. You can select the print area. Headers and footers. You can go to the design view for that. Usually what I do is if you hit print, let's see here. Go to page setup, then you can click on header and footer, and you can do it that way. That's usually what I do. So you can see I put in headers and footers there. So once again, you go to print and then page setup. Okay, this right here means that you put in an invalid error. If you get this sign that pops up, okay, we haven't really talked about formulas yet, so just know that this sign means an error. To display formulas, hit Control and then the grave accent mark, and it would show you the formulas instead of the actual value. Okay, so let me put my spreadsheet back up here real quick. Okay, I'm going to use my name as an example. Okay, I'm going to make these bigger so hopefully you can see them here. Can you guys see that up there? Okay, so let's say I work for XYZ company and I make $12.50 an hour. Okay, and I work 40 hours a week and I got 5 hours overtime. Okay, let's say I get paid 2 times more for overtime. Okay, actually let's just do it this way. We'll say this is going to be regular pay, and that is overtime pay. So our regular pay would equal our rate times our hours. Okay, and then our overtime pay would be our rate times 2, since we're getting paid twice as much for overtime hours. Okay, so we would be getting paid $25 an hour. Okay, and then how many hours did we work? We worked 5, so $125 for overtime pay. I don't know why those are formatted like that. Okay, so then our total would be equals the sum of these two columns, or I mean two cells. So you can put equals sum to calculate that. You can put equals F3 plus G3, or you can just go up here to formulas, hit sum, and then you select your boundaries. Okay, and then you get the total. Okay, we'll stop here today. We'll talk about cell references tomorrow, and then we'll probably do an activity